do to ensure that we safeguard our girls, we safeguard the boys, ensure that they get quality education and they just have that chance to grow up and just have a chance to be kids and not to be young mothers, because it comes with a lot of challenges. Tonight, I am more than glad to be joined by the amazing, beautiful Madam Catherine Karira. She is a teens coach and an advocate. Thank you so much for joining us. I know I've introduced you just kidogo.
That's okay, Florence.
Yeah, but I would want to know what has been your interest, especially with kids, and what have you been doing as Catherine to ensure that you shape the future of our young girls and boys?
Viewers, my passion is to make our children know before they wish they knew.
Yes.
So, Florence, everywhere I see a teenager, I have to talk to them.
Yes.
And I have to tell them a few things. That number one, sex is not an emergency. And they listen to me and they change.
Yeah.
What is lacking in the society is information.
True.
We have shied away. We are wishing they don't know. They know everything.
Yes.
Yes.
And on a personal level,
Okay.
what inspired you? Is there something perhaps maybe you went through or something you saw in the society that pushed you to ensure that you want to educate our young people?
A younger sister of mine left campus to get married. And I could not resonate with that. And I had to ask her, girl, what do you want? A man. And then I said, but the man is not going out.
Yes.
And she said, I have to get married. Then after that, it hit rocks. And that set the fires on me.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you decided from now henceforth I need to talk to these
I want to rescue them.
Yes.
Actually, for me, Florence, I feel like I would want to take all the children into my stomach and be working with them.
I know.
Yes. I normally tell them, uspeane.
Yeah, you have girls?
I have a girl and a boy.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Very lucky girl, I must say. And thank you. Let me just say thank you for the wonderful work you're doing.
Glory
After
to God.
covering a lot of stories, especially on what has been happening, we had Machakos and the internet, and Kenyans were like, what do you mean over 3,000 girls have been pregnant? Where are the parents? But this issue has been there for a very long time. What would you attribute? What is wrong in the society that we are recording high numbers of teenage pregnancies? What would you attribute the Kenyan state of teenage pregnancies to?
I see two questions there. Where are the parents?
Yes.
A parent will instruct the child. Is the child's role to walk the talk.
Yes.
The parent cannot be there because you have to go and work. And what is the society doing? What is happening? Number one, having teenagers getting pregnant is a reflection of the society moral decay.
Yeah.
Where our children have seen things on social media and on TV. And social media and TV are very, very powerful tools. What we all need to know is that entertainment is not only in romantic shows.
Yeah.
So when they see everybody kissing, they think that's the best thing.
Yeah.
What we need to do as a society is come up with educative entertainment.
Yeah.
And then we make sure that we hook them on it so that we can be able to mold the right character. Now, because you are telling them, watch, they have seen kiss. They want to go and try.
They will,
Children are very good friends. They want to see and they want to practice.
Yes.
As we say, man can see, man can do.
Yes.
Children will see and children will learn. So it is us that are teaching our children the bad things.
Yes.
Yes.
I actually concur with you, because they normally say that kids will not do what you tell them to do. They'll actually do what they see you
And
do.
they see it every day.
Yes, and you've also rightly put it that the moral decay in our
of the
society is
society.
actually affecting our future. But looking at sex education and other things, even right now, when we talk about teenage pregnancies, it's all about a girl child. Why do you think even the way we approach everything is based on the girl child? Do we need to maybe come up with a better way of educating the society, including the men? Because when you make a baby, it has to
Let me
include a man
pick
and
it
a
up,
woman.
Florence.
Yes.
Actually, that is where the genesis of the problems are.
Yes.
Because we are dealing with the same tone. A girl is just a victim. The root cause is the boy.
Yes.
So we must talk to the boy and the girl together. And the only reason why they think they are talking to the girls is because the girl gets pregnant. But you're forgetting that this boy has made a child. So he's equally more traumatized because he made somebody's girl pregnant. And I keep saying, and I will always say every day, the scars that we don't see take longer to heal.
Yeah.
So the society, we have had it all wrong. We are targeting the victim, the girl. We must go to the root, talk to the boy, so that the boy can grow knowing a girl is my sister, not a sex object.
Yeah.
Then the boy grows to become a man.
Yeah.
And then this boy knows I should not rape, I should not defile anybody. The man is created to protect and to provide. So now society must shift. We must change and now train the boys harder and the girls more. I came with a matchbox, Florence, because I want to tell every girl they are packaged like a matchbox. This is new. And it has all the matchsticks, but it cannot lit itself.
Yeah.
It takes an external force to come and lit it.
Yeah.
So what I want to tell every girl and every boy there is that they must tame the sparks of fire in them. Otherwise, they'll be lit up and they'll be roasted. And that is where they are. Then being Kenyans, Africans, we don't want to talk about sex. And that's why I work with the Word of God, because Bible is written by God. And that is the God of sex. So the church must have a higher voice in sexual education because they are backing by the Word of God. Yes.
Now, that's another very interesting perception there, or what should be. There's the role of the church, there's the role of teachers, there's the role of even us, the media, as you rightly say,
media, yes.
because we need to show the right content. But there before, I don't know if it has happened in my time, but maybe in your time it did, where we used the society, everyone had a role to play in raising up their kids, whether they're yours biologically or not. But things have actually changed. For example, I cannot reprimand someone else's child.
Yeah, you
Do you
try.
think we need to go back to raising the child as a society so that everyone feels responsible for this young one's future?
Actually, it's not even going back. It's the right thing to do.
Yes.
It's what we can say traditionally, the 3 stones. And that is why we see when Corona came and the school shut down, we got a bigger crisis. Because a child is grown by 3, by the teacher, by the church, and by the parent. When the school closed, the church also closed. The child was left with the parent.
Yes.
And even myself, as I talk to you, Florence, I need people to come and talk to my children. So an individual cannot grow the child. But also what we need to know is now, besides the 3, we have the media. And I would pray that the people that are in charge of technology, they must know how to cut off the rubbish that our children are watching. Because pornography is costing them the mind of our children. And we know that pornography and drugs, they hit to the brain. And that is the highest organ everybody has. So we must protect these children. And the government has all the machinery. We should be hearing them more. Actually, when I hear of the thousands of girls that are pregnant, I keep saying, those are tomorrow's votes.
Yes.
And we're not hearing the politicians coming out and saying a lot of votes at stake. And then, unfortunately, Florence, the more girls drop out of school, poverty level also increases.
Yes.
And now we are talking of just a pregnant girl. If we don't salvage this, the same pregnant girl today, in the next 2 years, will be having another baby. So we must solve this crisis today and now.
Yeah,
Yes.
very true. I want to talk about something that might be taken, I don't want it to be taken out of context, but also it's something that is very important, and I would want to know your views, especially as a Christian, as a mom. The use of contraceptive. You know, there are those parents we've read stories where they actually introduce their young girls, very young girls, to contraceptive and to family planning method. These are girls who are not married. All right. In my view, as an individual, maybe there are those who will be like, I'd rather give them contraceptive than take care of another baby. But there are also those who will be like, it's too early and this might affect them. As a Christian, as a mom, what would be your views in introducing birth control methods to young girls?
Good question. Contraceptive is not a solution to immorality. And nobody will ever die for not having sex. But every day people are dying because they had sex. 100% sure way is abstinence. And introducing teenagers to contraceptives, we are predisposing them to cancer. Go and check online, you'll see that. So we cannot mess our today to protect our tomorrow.
Yes.
Because if you give those girls the contraceptives today, they will not have a tomorrow. And the only thing that everybody needs to hear this evening is, love for teenagers is nothing but misspelled lust.
Yes.
And the teenagers will say, I want all the sex now. But I said sex is a creation of God. When we look at what God is telling us, he's telling us, chill, wait until the right time, get married, have sex at the right time, always and through and thoroughly well.
Yes.
So what you are telling them is abstain. Florence, I'm on record having told the boys they will never burst.
Yeah.
There's no spermatic bomb.
Yes.
So what we need to do, we cannot compromise the principles of God.
True.
Because our children have gone haywire. Let me just ask a question. Assuming our boys said and our girls said, we want guns, would we give them?
Not at all.
Yes, they must tame themselves or they bear the blame. Let me throw a caution to the parent that has put their children on contraceptives. They have opened the door for immorality.
True.
And they will cry longer. Sexual sin makes you laugh now, but you'll cry the wrongest in life.
Yeah.
Abstinence works. And again, life has no reward button.
Yeah.
There's no reverse gear. You set them loose, they become loose. And there are no contraceptives for HIV and AIDS and STDs. And actually today we talk, it is Christmas Eve and December holidays where we have a peak of immorality. I think I checked yesterday and I saw that in Kenya today where we sit, 5 people are catching HIV and AIDS every hour. That's 120 people every day. So even as teenagers, you go there to make merry, you must make sure that you make merry the best way so that you don't mess at merry time. True. HIV and AIDS has not gone on Christmas.
Yes.
It is there with us.
True.
Yes.
Well, I know time is not on our side, and in Narok County, they are currently leading. The other time we were talking about Machakos. They're leading with 44%. 5,500 girls below 18 pregnant. Well, I saw the governor trying to address that issue, and it's a very good thing. But briefly, your final word, especially to everyone in the society, including our leaders, so that we can know where next, what we need to do to ensure that we safeguard our girls.
The government, as I say, they have all the machineries. They must now come out to invest in people like me, so that we go out and we give our children 3 things. We give them information. We'll tell them, yes, sex is there, but it's a time for everything. True. We give them a fact. We tell them that sex is not a play game for children. Sex is for those that are married. We give them a warning. You choose the wrong way, your life goes wrong. And let me talk to anybody that is pregnant there, more so the girl. They must go back to school. Because pregnancy is not the end of life. Pregnancy is the beginning of a new life. And these girls, they have a path of success ahead of them. Then also, let me tell the boys that are celebrating and saying, wow, we just make babies, don't get pregnant. You have a scar in you. And you might miss the pregnancy, but you're not going to escape the STIs. Let me say that private part diseases in Kenya are also in increase. We are here talking of girls that are pregnant, and we are not knowing who is not having a STD, who has an STD. Let me say that pregnancy is not a disease that will deliver, but the disease can be long-lasting. So private part disease should not be kept privately, because when we keep them privately, they eat us up privately and pain-free. Let the girls and the boys go and get treated, and then you chill. Sex hayed pahali, haina mwisho.
I agree with you. Well, that has been our amazing guest. I'm 100% sure we need to continue talking about this issue, and we will be inviting her over and over until we ensure our young girls are not misled. That has been Catherine Karira, a teens coach and an advocate. My director tells us that tonight we will not be having the sports news, but tomorrow we have all the time to inform you on what will be happening. My name is Florence Ndongo. Do join Irene Mwangi tomorrow on KUTV Primetime News and Samson Jura at Mizizi ya Habari. I have been in the company of Moses Gitonga, who has been our sign language interpreter tonight. Good night.